Hey guys. Captain Foley here, and today we're going to be playing Star Trek Resurgence. Now, I've been lucky enough, me and Samuel both got early copies of this game, so I've been playing this for about a week now. I've got quite far in it. I think I'm probably almost done the game, but I'm going to start from scratch for you guys, so you can see it from the beginning and have it play out. It's very much like a Star Trek movie. This is like the Telltale games, Batman and The Walking Dead and stuff like that, where you get to choose your actions or what you say. Basically, to choose your own adventure, and then you get to do other things as well. Hey, Delilah, how's it going? So, yeah, like I said, I've got quite far into it because I've been playing for almost a week now, and but I'm going to start from scratch today. So, settings, I got the music volume down because I always do. We're not going to do subtitles or anything. It's going well, Matthew. Choices. You can get to deep dive into your choices. And so, yeah, the different choices you make have people react to you differently and think of you in a different light. So there are differences if you select different options. So, anyhow, let me just check something real quick before we dive in here. I don't want to get underway when there's not that many people here. We'll see how many people are actually here right now. 19. That's a good way to start. Okay. All right, we're going to get into it. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. Actually, I should probably do something real quick here. Hold on. Yeah, I can't change it. Shit. I was going to put the messages pop up in the bottom right instead of the top right, but that's okay. All right, so let's get into it. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy. There is my one that I've been playing. I'm almost at the end, I think. So, but I'm going to choose empty slot and begin from scratch for you guys. So here we go. What is this game timeline between 2009 or Star Trek? I don't know what else that says. Well, it's not Kelvinverse, so fuck 2009. This is post First Contact, probably post Nemesis, I would imagine. I just read the prequel comics for this today that leads up to this one, that shows how the Centaur class, the USS Resolute, got damaged, because in this one it just undergone a refit, which is what we're going to get into right now. It's not, or Star Trek Picard, he said. It's not up to Picard. It's not that late. It's, yeah, months after Nemesis. There you go. So, all right, here we go. And yeah, CJ, I've had it for a week. Like I said, there's my save game right there, Last Guardian. I'm near the end of the game. But anyway, we're going to start new here for today. So anyway, that's enough talking from me. Now let's get into it and let's just enjoy the game. Keep in mind I turn the music off because that'll get copyrighted, no problem. So, is this game for Xbox One? Don't know, don't care. Not an Xbox fan. Yes, it's available on Xbox. It's available on all platforms. So,
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy. The nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Order gives way to chaos. In this case, change is good.
Sorry, it was just checking the
Our new first officer
stream.
is en route to the Resurgence. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
I didn't pre-order. I got it from the developer because we were going to review it for them.
No
So
problem. I'm not great with flying, but these little ships are the worst.
You don't like flying, and yet you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Look at that, some actual classic ships. Miranda, Excelsior, Nova. It's beautiful.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Only top 20?
There's that.
Only top 20, huh? So I guess there's room for improvement.
Well, it's really, really hard.
So I've heard.
Yeah, because I was in the top 3. This is an Xbox or a PlayStation 5. My God, play it PS5.
Hold there for a few seconds.
Yeah, Jay, I've had it.
Wait, you're Jara Ryder?
I've had it for a week.
You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure is mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Good day, Commander.
There's the Resolute. It's a Centaur class ship, but this is different than a standard Centaur class. Like I said, I just read the prequel comics today. I found out what happened to it before this because it got massively. The star drive section, they had to do saucer separation. Star drive section got destroyed. So this is a massive overhaul and refit. So it's basically a new ship. Different features to a standard Centaur class. I love all the displays. I'm gonna leave it right there for 1 sec. I just gotta go grab a pill for my cough. Sorry about this, guys. So I'll be coughing in your ear the whole time. So you guys can read the Starfleet or the starbase display. There we go. Sorry about that. I'll try not to cough in your ear. I'll try to mute it when possible. No, I wouldn't say the Centaur is a newer version of the Miranda at all, but...
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Boolean, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
You think?
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
They're not older pre-TNG, no. They're definitely post-Nemesis. They got the blue color, but they're definitely Elcar's TNG-style displays. In Nemesis, it went to blue and kind of a red color. The same colors as the movie era, for sure, but they are new.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Does it want a medal?
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Okay, look, there's a Boolean. That's who we need to talk to.
Excuse me.
Hey, she's red. You okay? Is that a rash? You should go to sickbay. Alright, let's go talk to him. I pissed him off the first time I talked to him. Let's see if I can fix it this time.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermat, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our local research vessel.
I'll do my best to live up to expectations.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do just fine. And if I can help in any way, just let me know.
There she is.
The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame.
It's
It
top
was a planned
secret.
test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
To have lost so many lives. That's a high price to pay.
Too high by any estimation. But there's nothing that can be done about it now except get back to work. And make sure it never happens again. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm glad you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you were walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the hotel.
Okay, good. Last time I pissed him off. Here, the good first impression. That's good. Coming off as humble and shrewd while showing empathy for what the crew of the Resolute suffered. Last time I said they're going to have to get over it. Anyway.
Ari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
That's just my chest, Eric.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
So we get to examine all the tools, which is cool. What we got here?
Hyperspanner does almost everything.
Hyperspanner.
What I need right now. Now, need to melt some corrosion, not just a plasma injector. Don't need to rewire the optical data network. Just need to burn this gunk off.
Yeah, I know which one to pick. Just want to show everybody all the options. No, it's a story, Terrence. It's like watching a movie.
Is that?
I thought the thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Those warp coils. Well, you can energize that stuff. Love the cargo transporter. I love seeing the interiors of the ship and the old style shuttles.
Come on!
Oh, shush up. Look, probes.
Carter Diaz!
Ow! Oh. Oh, these are heavy. Look, makes more sense than 0G. You're welcome.
Poor guy.
Hurry up!
Should I help him with... I'll help him with the other one. I didn't last time,
I
so...
can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Time's a-wasting.
Is it really? Oh, I guess I should follow you then. You're bossy.
Good to see her fully operational again. And if she breaks, we'll just fix her.
Junction 34B gives you access to the tubes behind cargo storage all the way to the turbo lift.
Not after the retrofit.
I'm gonna-
Cuts it off at section 2. New computer reroutes.
So then,
I'm thinking we'll have to
I'm gonna walk around. I didn't really do this the first time I played, so...
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
So if you let your options run out, it pauses, so you can think about it. I'm gonna do a live stream where it's... you guys get to pick... Sorry about the cough. Where you guys get to pick the option. First person that super chats in gets to pick. So, but we're not doing that tonight, so... we can handle anything.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious. Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
It does matter what you choose, yes.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edzelar on repeated occasions.
Commander Chovak, isn't it true that if we were almost late, it categorically means that we were not late?
That is correct, Mr. Diaz.
I mean, if anything, Edzelar and I are following the schedule to the letter.
Yes, perhaps I should adjust the schedule accordingly.
Oh.
So, I don't...
Let's see. Cheeky and cavalier. And yes, your choices matter. I don't know how much it influences the game's story progression. Probably not much, but it does. People react to you differently. And I gotta say, like I said, I've been playing this for quite a few days now, and there are a few glitches here and there, but I've reported all of them to the dev team. So if they show up, if they crop up, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy.
Suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off to...
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nilly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit.
Thank you for the super chat, Mark.
Excuse me.
Much appreciated.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy.
Well, Terrence, I'll definitely try to get them hooked up. That's definitely a thing that happens. She felt some chemistry with me after their playful banter. Nice. Oh my god, it clipped into her uniform. How awful. What the fuck? It's a game, man. Shit happens. Why are you shitting on it? Anyway.
Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, It's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Yeah, baby.
Activating magnetic souls. That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Nice wide impulse deck on this thing. Eric must be happy. There's the new shuttle bay. The old shuttle bay on the Centaur looked a little different on the Resolute. But this is the refit, so...
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Let's snoop around the captain's ready room, shall we?
I can't believe he keeps this around. Don't even know where mine is.
It's a nice desk, I've got to say. Kind of a slob with his isolinear chips there. It's a choo-choo chain. I like choo-choo chains.
He's still got a thing for trains. The warp engines of their day, apparently.
Hey, Burnsy, I would if I could.
Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute.
His teeth always look funny to me.
Is, we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this ship needs at the moment. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
You mean, don't call it an accident, because it's top secret. Like I said, I read the prequel comics, so I know exactly what happened, and it was a shit show. I think last time I said it was a malfunction. I'll go with that one again.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard. A warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
This is your ship, and you are the captain. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever you say, goes.
That's the kind of support I'm looking for. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority.
That's cool.
Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified.
Yes, Colin.
This Ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
So basically, we're being sent into the eye of a storm, more powerful than anything on record.
Well, yes. But we're taking every precaution. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that, for me, will be the ultimate measure of your success.
Yes, Eric.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come. Let me introduce you to the crew.
So let's see. I was encouraged by pragmatism and respect. Perfect. My plan is coming to fruition.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you.
I hate her hair. It looks awful. It's stringy.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase.
That's one of the errors. There's some dialogue that does that. Like, I'll be on the starbase. And then the rest of the dialogue cuts off before it finishes. It happened probably 4 times in my entire playthrough. So that's the first one. It's the same spot, too. So, worth pointing that out.
Base commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer.
See, it gets cut off.
The bridge is yours.
So that's one issue that I noticed. Alright, let's look around this bridge.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Is that what communications means? Shit, son.
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
Mm-hmm. A fucking window. But that's okay. It's gonna stand over your shoulder and make you uncomfortable.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
And Peter, yes, you asked if I was well. I'm all right. I'm recovering from a very serious cold. I'll live.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
I assume that's like engineering. There's no interactive thing there. MSD, Master Systems Display.
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Look at this. It's like the one on the Enterprise D, but first it's higher. Interesting.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Oh, I think you'll be using your weapons. Call guess.
The first officer seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
I guess I don't deserve a headrest, but that's alright.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter. Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Now, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
Let's see, she's encouraged by my positive attitude during the hull walk.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Okay. This is another part. Doing the calibration the first time, the game locked up on me and froze. So I reported that I restarted the game, had to restart this chapter, and then it worked fine. So I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't do it again, but if it does, I might have to, the stream might end, but I doubt that's going to happen. So just a heads up.
Beginning recalibration.
Perfect.
Good. That wasn't so hard.
That was a pain in the ass, what that was.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer. given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew, and he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying.
Let's see what he thinks of me. Mixed feelings. Wow. What suitability for new first officer? We'll find that.
It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure.
Nope, I cannot.
Just a moment.
I got no way to adjust it. I'm sorry, I do have to breathe. Plus I'm sick, so my apologies.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormality.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
Wait, there's a...
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Can you blow out every primary system on the ship?
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Shields protect people in the hull, Eric.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Owie.
Right?
Yeah. Still took most of it. Snuck up on it.
Can't damage their suit. Energy damage is down to 60%. We're almost to the regulator.
Yeah, she saved me from two of them.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
There were two on one side, and I saw her phaser beam go across because I missed them.
We have little time before
So yes.
it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Efficiently. Yes, I will.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Actually, no, that's what I want to do. That's fine.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can...
Oh, you're scratching the paint.
Get down! Diaz to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way
people
to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? This isn't your call to make. Blow the...
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
We're going to blow the bolts. Starbase, stand by. We'll warn our crew to take cover.
Get it done right.
I'm impressing everybody. See? Oh no, I'm not impressing them. Dismayed when I followed the captain's orders instead of reversing polarity. God damn it. Chovak approved. Everybody else was disappointed. Oh no. Well, the captain was pleased, but...
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, you have more micro debris incoming. Find cover.
Cover? Neely, get under the access panel. It's armored with uranium.
But what about you? Carter, maybe we can both fit behind this. They've blown the other docking clamp. Hurry!
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it. I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. It has come to my attention that you are at risk of triggering a
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that. We made it.
They're safe. Bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Nilly.
Help me with him.
Okay, I'm not sure if my controller was muted at that point. Did you hear my explanation about what happened last time, where I chose that I would go first instead of her? Let me know, because otherwise I'll have to retell you the story. I just realized that my controller was muted, for fuck's sake. All right. So last time, I didn't want to be a misogynistic prick and mansplain to her that she couldn't, save my life this time. So I said, by all means, I'll go first. You stay out here. The same thing happened. I went in. She tried to get in, couldn't remove the tool, and she got smacked with this thing, with this energy wave, and had a scar for the entire rest of the game. So this time I figured, what the hell? I'll tell her to go first, because it annoyed her and made her think less of me last time, because I made the decision that, she was going to stay behind and I go first. So this time I did it the opposite way. So now we'll see if I have a scar. I should be injured. So I don't know how it's going to impact the gameplay. But anyway, sorry that it was muted. Goddamn, I was telling the story. That's why it was stuck on the screen for a minute there. So that's the first major thing that I've changed in this playthrough. So we'll see if I have a scar now, and what her opinion of me is after that. Because last time, yeah, she was upset that I left her behind when she told me to go first. So it's a fucking no-win scenario, unfortunately. It's the Kobayashi Maru. Anyway, here we go.
Let's get this off.
Yeah, see, now I got a cool scar.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Yeah, this is... I can't even talk, fuck. This is different now.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
The Resolute suffered damage from the exploding bolts, but we've successfully moored to the station. The ship is secure. Our systems are coming back online, but we have a fair amount of repairs before we're ready to go.
Put a halt on the roll-off of starbase engineering staff. We have a schedule to keep. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydick, with me. What a debacle. I was caught with my pants down. Not even on my own ship when the wave hit. I had to go running out of the Starbase Commander's office just to... But you followed my order. I appreciate that. Hell, I'm relieved.
You're the captain of this ship. You give orders, and I'll execute them.
That's right. But you see my problem, don't you? They were all against me on that bridge. They were ready to go against my orders. I'm not blind to it.
I think you're wrong about that. You still have the respect of the crew, and we have bigger things to deal with. We have a high-priority mission ahead of us and a lot to do to get ready.
We're going to have a pretty big problem if I can't count on the bridge staff. Say nothing of the rank and file. Oh. Drink?
Last time I said sure. I'll say sure again.
Sure.
Well, he's not that kind of captain necessarily. He's, like I said, there's prequel comics leading up to this, which I read today, and he just doesn't feel like he has the respect of his crew because his former commander basically questioned everything he did. So I'm playing it so that he thinks I'm going to follow his orders every time in case, and then if it comes down to it in a critical situation, I can change things up if I need to. So, anyway. Yeah, he's not an asshole, I don't think. It's hard to tell, honestly, but anyway, here we go.
Thank you.
Now I'll have the option to drink it or not in a minute. I'll drink it this time. Last time I just passed.
Your predecessor, Commander Sutherland, is missed. But for all the adoration of the crew, including the senior staff, I just couldn't rely on him. He would question, undermine me in front of the crew. I sometimes think they still hear his voice. That sort of thing is a way of lingering. And you can't argue with a ghost.
Captain, perhaps you and the crew would be better served if you look at this mission as a fresh start.
You can never really leave the past behind.
If we don't, you can never move forward.
This won't be easy. But I'm glad I have you here with me.
Glad to be here, Captain.
And despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Last time I just put it down. I'll finish it this time. That's what I would actually do in real life, so I was trying to be more responsible the first time.
Ready or not, here we go.
See, different shuttle bay than a normal Centaur class on the top there.
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
Now this launch,
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
there's another audio glitch.
Moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Goddamn. What I was going to say is, there's probably epic music for this launch of the ship, but I have the music disabled. So.
You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
There's probably some epic launch music here, but I've turned it off.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Not necessarily for copyright. I just hate music in games. It ruins my immersion, and it's fucking annoying half the time. So I just turn music off for all my games. But yes, copyright on music is a big deal, so.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Ooh, I get to say my line, whatever it is. I get to pick one. Engage, do it, make way. I'll go with make way.
Helm, make way.
It's a Centaur class, Curtis.
Make way.
It's a sailing term.
I know that.
No, not let's fly. Fuck off. Stupid goddamn thing.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Thanks, bitch. Look at your hair. You don't look any better. Mine would probably be punch it, honestly.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
No, it's not the drink. It's her deuterium levels. Or deridium, whatever the hell it is.
Help me get her inside.
No, mine would probably be step on it. This happened last time. It wasn't because of the drink.
Minutes more, and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Yes, she does.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him. He'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. I have to admit, I was concerned when I heard what happened on the bridge.
Let's see what she thinks of me. She'd rather see me thinking independently than following Captain Solano's every order. I don't follow his every order. Anyway.
You just followed Solano's orders despite having better options in front of you.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
It is it's made by the same people that did the Telltale games, DX. They did the Batman ones, and they did the Walking Dead ones.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay.
I really hate her
We were all
hair.
pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
Thanks for coming. Please don't worry.
I don't want anyone to worry. This is just part of who I am. It doesn't define me.
Of course. I completely understand. And I would probably feel the same way if I were you. You trusted me earlier with the shields. And I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
There's no graphic settings options on the PS5.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrosine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing.
And I got a cool scar out of the deal.
A couple of times to see you already.
Oh, she wants some of me. Yeah, she does. Hey, baby.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duval. It did take one hell of a shot, though.
So, be honest. How bad do I look?
You look rugged.
Rugged?
Okay. How about heroic? Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse, leaving it unsaid.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Last time because I selected the girl to stay behind, she was in sick bay, and this conversation actually happened in the shuttle bay. So there are differences already. So.
Spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Oh, baby.
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way. There is something between us.
So, do you want to find out what that something is?
I thought you said, do you want to fuck for a second?
For you, and it's there for me. Why not give it a try?
Are you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
Yeah, baby. Boing.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Ouch.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Oh, this is fun. You get to use. Oh shit! What the hell?
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Oh, okay, good.
You sure?
I'm sure.
USS Excelsior
Come on, Diaz.
shuttle. Oh my god.
First thing.
So, if you're into ships and tech, which you should be because you're on trek yards, this is really cool. You get to use the transporters. You get to reroute power. You get to use the tractor beam here in a second. It's kind of fun, and I love that the console comes out of the floor of the shuttle bay, and then goes back in so that it's just an empty shuttle bay. That's pretty cool.
Onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation. We're pulling in debris. I'm on it.
Am I?
gonna take out the shuttle. There's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydeck, plot an intercept course.
Well, Curtis,
On it.
you can select the colors of your L cars as a ship captain, I assume. I would want the same ones, honestly.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Smash. That's your solution?
Someone's working hard on the bridge. Shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock? The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Okay.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
Our arrival was the smoothest part of our journey. Your artistry with a tractor beam is commendable. They thought we were prepared for our arrival in Atari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
By the way, guys, 75 people here, which is awesome. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Feel free to super chat. I will see the super chats tonight. It would really help out, and I would appreciate it if you can. If not, that's cool. Anyway, let's continue on.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems, and who knows what it might do to a warp drive.
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
I love this briefing room too. It's so nice.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
You are a legend, Ambassador. There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Night, Curtis.
Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Lydians have shared a mining operation there. The Lydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Lydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the Ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations.
I would say yes, check or not.
The relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Lydian fleet if this escalates to open
Maybe like a 8.5 out of 10.
Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Lydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them
No.
do anything.
There is...
Peter, it doesn't matter when you hit the option. You can hit it when somebody's talking, and then they continue to talk until they're done, and then it kicks in with your response. So you don't have to, like, wait.
An additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Lydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
So we've already played a part in this.
Unfortunately, that is indeed the case, Commander Rydek.
We're morally obligated to make this right.
Hold on. Our only obligation is to negotiate the peaceful resolution of this conflict.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Ionic...
Ooh, let's see, did I impress Spock? It looks like it. I did. Keen intellect and unique insight into the dynamics of Hotari-Lydian conflict during the mission. Yay!
Lithium trade. Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Lydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Yes.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. but they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Illidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here. We're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial
Another audio glitch.
But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
They didn't rush it. They actually delayed it quite a bit. And there's only been audio glitches, really. And they're minor. But there has been a few, which I've reported to the dev team.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking. You did the smart thing.
You've put me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
This is right after Nemesis. A couple months afterwards.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic. So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Pt.1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
I would think yes, General Grievous.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
Oh yeah.
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Elcar's porn, absolutely. Yes.
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
Ooh.
Anyone of...
Hold on, I'm just going to pause for a second. Peter the Cocko, $22 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for covering this opening week, Cap. Appreciate what you and Sam do. Thanks, Peter. You guys are awesome. We've actually had this game for like a week now, me and Sam. My first playthrough, I almost finished the game. I'm almost done, but I wanted to restart for you guys, obviously. And I couldn't live stream it till today, obviously. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated.
These failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Yes, Scoony Kid, we did.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll take the navigational array.
I'll check the navigation.
And yes, we got it. My God. We got it early because we were going to be interviewing a dev team and talking about the ships and the Elcars and the tech. So we got it for review purposes. So your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see if you are too far away. Oh my God. I'm really sorry about my cough, guys. It's hard to talk. Hard to talk sometimes. Wow. Anyway. Some objects will activate deep scan. Different mode indicators, yes. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change color. Okay. Miscellaneous circuits powering the subspace sensor array are functioning normally. So go to different scan mode. The shuttle subspace sensors are vulnerable to backscatter interference from other internal systems. Filters help attenuate such radiation and keep sensor data clean. Dying here, man. Sensor array monitors the gradient transitions between normal space and subspace while the vessel is traveling at warp speeds. No physical damage detected. Alright, I've done all my scans.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
No, that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines where the warp drives of their day part.
Well, they were.
Catch y'all later.
You can debrief me anywhere.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things on my mind.
Look at Mr. Smooth Operator here.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
And totally unprofessional.
For when I get back.
You've got a deal.
Look down, look down, look down. Look at her ass.
Be seeing you.
Alright, so let's see what she thought about the kiss. Where the hell is... Oh, I gotta go here. She won't soon forget the romantic kiss that Carter gave when they were saying goodbye in the docking bay. Like a dock in her bay.
Larda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it.
That sounded dirty.
Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now. Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
There's quite a bit of the L-Cars interaction, truck or not, yeah, which I like, honestly.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of...
No, it's not a mirror universe shuttle.
Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilized. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Dun, 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 dun. Commercial break.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours. And this is Commander Jara Rydick, First Officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
It might be. It's the same actor. I don't know.
Hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here. That guy was something.
Something about his tone tells me this won't be easy.
That was my sense as well.
I doubt he speaks for all of Hotari. So I would urge patience until we speak with their queen.
Doesn't bow. I get the option to bow or not, and I'm gonna choose to bow because it's just.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Holtari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
Saying this wouldn't be easy was an understatement. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not part
She can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Oh shit.
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate peace?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I would right the wrong. That's what I want to say. I can't speculate on that. It's another good one. I'm going to go with I would right the wrong. That might be the wrong thing to say in this situation, but considering we were oppressed by the Cardassians. All right, I'm going to go with that one.
If the opportunity presented itself, and I wish that it had, more than you can know. If the opportunity presented itself, for the sake of the Kobliad, we suffered enough.
Of course you would. It would be foolish to do otherwise. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
As Ambassador Spock has said, we've come seeking a peaceful resolution to this conflict. and have no interest in your dilithium.
I'm not nearly as naive as you must think. The Federation has done business with the Illydians for decades, which makes me question your motives.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Illydian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Illydians? Only be one or the other, not both.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
I'm definitely not a diplomat. Diplomacy is not for me. This is bullshit.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
All right, let's see here. Yeah, I want to jump off this too, buddy. Let's see the view.
Such rough terrain. No wonder the Hotari are so tough.
What the hell is this? Water. I'm gonna appreciate the water.
Soothing.
Yes, now let's get into this shit.
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Illydians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
To be clear, I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
I will keep that in mind.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Illydians.
Not seized. Reclaimed. And restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive. Before the Illydians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Were the Hotari miners armed during the revolt? I'm just trying to understand how it happened.
If by that you mean armed with centuries of abuse and exploitation at the hands of the Illidians, then yes.
Which doesn't really answer my question.
We had them vastly overwhelmed from the start. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Illidians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
I wouldn't say state-of-the-art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
Let's hope so. Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing them from wiping us off the map.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Yeah.
Commander Rydek, I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
If anyone deserves thanks, it's Ambassador Spock. No one is more invested in negotiating a peaceful settlement to this conflict than he is.
I'm so glad. We need his help before the situation escalates further than it already has. It's been very trying. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
Thank you for the super chat, Peter. 220 Canadian. Finest ship. I'd like that Trek Yards review. Right? Alright, you don't trust them. You don't trust them.
I get the sense you don't exactly trust them.
I don't trust their instincts, which are leading us to war. My fear has been that the Illidians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. That it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Illidians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference. Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
What do you think it is?
I've heard rumors it's some sort of ancient artifact, but I haven't seen it myself.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you.
Seems like shady shit.
I'll let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
No, it doesn't choose for you. It just pauses and goes gray.
Sorry, I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured in the interest of fairness, I should offer another perspective.
Of course.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality, as does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. But clearly, you weren't aware.
We are and will remain completely neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is, at what price? Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least, that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
You sound skeptical.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mine? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
They seem proud of their culture. Pride can lead to rash action.
Yeah, it's because it's made by the same guys that did the Telltale games.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Prep a shuttle. Alright guys, that's a good place to end it for tonight. I'm playing for over 2 hours now, so we'll continue tomorrow night, same time, about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with this shuttle mission. Thank you for watching, and please make sure you're subscribed, and join the channel if you're able to, become a member. Yeah, that's about it. Honestly, like I said, I've been playing this game for a week. Excuse me, we got early access to it, and so I've already pretty much played the entire game. This is a replay through for you guys, because today was the day the embargo was lifted that I could live stream. And there's not many problems with it. It's actually very fun, especially if you're an LCARS guy or ship-based or technology-based. You get to do a lot of really cool stuff in this game, and it's very much like watching a movie. The diplomatic situation is quite intriguing, and it gets quite complicated, and it gets some good action beats and stuff coming up soon too. So it is quite an interesting story. Thank everybody for watching part 1. Like I said, we'll do part 2 tomorrow, and we'll just pick up from here. So anyway, have yourselves a great night and a great tomorrow, and I will talk at you later. It's Captain Foley signing off. Bye, everybody.